It's been a fantastic Premier League season and some youngsters have been stealing their headlines this year, but which ones are going to have the best career when it comes to the end of the day? So some great players. Let's start off with the strengths of some of these great players. Marcus Rashford. He's been a revelation in the last 9 games. Had the opportunity when Rooney's been injured and he's taken it, hasn't he?
Excellent. I mean, he scored against us. Massive goal.
What impressed you in that game?
First of all, his pace, really quick. His finishing and his temperament for such a young kid to be like thrown in a game like that against Arsenal. It was just, I must admit, right, even after the game, and I was really angry that we lost that game, I kind of had a bit of an admiration for Rashford. Because I was like, you know, for such a young guy, local kid, to come in and make that sort of impact, you can only be pleased for him.
On a huge stage.
Yeah, and the thing is about it is that he then went and done it again against Manchester City in another massive game. Pressure on, scores the winning goal. I mean, it's unbelievable what he's achieved.
Yeah, and one of the big names this year has got to be Dele Alli. He's played so many games this year. What have we got here? 7 goals, 11 assists. Played throughout the season. A huge reason why they've still got a chance of winning the league. He's been brilliant.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of his. He'd be one of my top targets to bring to Chelsea next season.
Imagine if that happened.
I don't think it'll happen. I think Pochettino, they'll keep, because they're going to have Champions League football. You know, they'll keep hold of him. He's been brilliant, and he really stepped up to the mark when he plays for England. And a lot of players over the past have been fantastic for their football clubs. Steve McManaman and people like that, but yet when they go and play for England, they just don't produce the same qualities. He's done it, and he's a tremendous prospect. He reminds me of a younger Gascoigne, and I think he's got. I'm excited because he doesn't play for Chelsea, but he plays for England. He's got a great future.
Absolutely. What about any players from your clubs that you feel like have stepped forward?
Arsenal, it's got to be Alex Iwobi, who's he's scored in the last 2 games he's played. Not only has he scored though, he's made like a big difference to the team. And again, he's just he gets the ball and he's fearless, he's dynamic, he'll run at players, he can finish because he scored in 2 big games against Watford, against Everton. He played in the Champions League game against Barcelona and did not look out of place. As a matter of fact, was one of the best players on the pitch. Yeah. And it's just like unbelievable. Again, the temperament of this kid, that he's totally fearless. You know, he'll get the ball, he'll run at players, and if he loses it, he doesn't care, he'll run at them again. And that is brilliant. And he is a top prospect at Arsenal. I think, you know, you think at some of the players that he's keeping out of the team at the moment, like Theo Walcott and people like that, you know, the sky's the limit for him.
Absolutely.
A couple of other players, Iheanacho at Man City, he's played a lot of games, a lot from the bench, but at a club that spends that much money for him to break through is very impressive. Reece Oxford as well, a couple of games at the start of the season. He's a 17-year-old kid, so it's not the last we'll see of him. Let's talk about.
And again, had a blinder against us. All these young players seem to be brilliant against Arsenal. I remember when Rooney first burst onto the scene, that was a worldie against Arsenal.
Well, because they look at the team sheet and go, Arsenal, easy game.
Doddle. One person I definitely want to talk about, it's kind of been a breakthrough, but we've been waiting for it for a good few years now.
Yeah.
Ruben Loftus-Cheek.
Yeah. Jury's still out on that, and obviously he's one of ours, and he's been there since he was a young kid, so he's progressively coming through the ranks, but he hasn't been given enough time. And I'm hoping now Hidding's going to play him to the rest of the season. It's the first time he played. He has to. It's the first time he played 90 minutes against Villa. Admittedly, Villa were awful, and it wasn't the greatest test, but he wanted to come off, funny enough, and I think he had a bit of cramp. And Hidding was like, no, you're staying on for 90 minutes. You've got to have the wear and tear of 90 minutes. So hopefully he'll start every game now till the end, and maybe bring a few more of the young Chelsea players. But for me, he hasn't got the quality of Ali, hasn't got the excitement of Rashford just yet.
One of the things I think at Arsenal over the years is that, you know, fair play to Wenger, he'll give some of these kids a chance. Jack Wilshere, you see it now with Iwobi, you know, he'll give youth a chance. At Chelsea, Man City as well, I mean, they just never see. They've got amazing teams. Man City beat us the other day in a youth game. You know what I mean? It was an amazing game, amazing players on display. Some of those kids they got brilliant. how many of them are going to get a chance to actually play?
And when we're talking about the question that we're looking to answer, which is which one of these guys is going to have the best career, the development is so crucial. Look at Dele Alli. He's played 62 games for MK Dons before he's even come to Spurs.
Can I just say, I think it's the right development is under the right manager. Had Alex Ferguson signed Paul Gascoigne, I think he could have been an even better player. Pochettino is brilliant with the young players, brilliant at Southampton, brilliant at Tottenham now. It just depends what manager takes a young player under his wing and goes, mate, you could be world class. Just do this, do this, do that. Because some of them just go off the rails.
But it's about being fearless, I think, as well as a manager. Because, so you go, Dele Alli goes, well, he's been at MK Dons. Well, you know, we won't play him just yet. But he's just chucked him in there straight away. Whereas Ruben Loftus-Cheek, that's almost like a vanity project that they won't let him go play elsewhere because, oh, he's going to come through.
Yeah, be gutted if he went elsewhere. Be gutted if he went elsewhere.
Don't you also think, though, you said about a manager, but if the club is geared up to give these youngsters a chance.
And again, maybe Iwobi's got as good a chance as anyone because he will get the opportunity because Arsene Wenger's brought up through a whole team of players that have come through.
That's why I love Arsene Wenger for that. I think he's brought up so many good young players over the last 20 years through Arsenal. I know they're having troubles right now and they have for a long time, but he's been the number one manager to bring up those young players and sell them off for millions.
When it comes to Rashford then, he's been given the opportunity because Rooney's not been fit. Rooney's getting close to being fit again now. Talk about a manager, they're probably going to have a new manager coming in. Will that new manager will he have the balls to go, look, you're 18, but we're going to put
Rashford is a really exciting prospect. He's quick, he's sharp.
But is he going to be stunted by the next manager? What do you think?
Well, I think if that does happen, it'd be a travesty. I mean, he's got to be, you know, he's maybe not going to be the main striker, but he's got to be in there amongst those, say, 4 strikers that they have. He has to be an option that's used on a regular basis because he's done it in just these few games, big games. Arsenal, Man City, local derby.
Yeah.
You know, all those games, right? Even when he hasn't scored, he's been a presence. He's been a dangerous player, right? And, you know, you think to yourself with Rashford or with Iwobi or, you know, if you bought these guys, if you had just purchased this guy and you'd say, spent, like what they did with Martial, if they'd have just bought Rashford for 30 million and he'd done what he'd done over the past few games, everybody would be sitting there and saying, oh, you know, this money looked like it's well spent money because, you know, look at him, he's, you know.
So put your money where your mouth is. Which one of these guys, these breakthrough stars from this year, are going to have the best career?
Dele Alli for me, for sure.
It's hard for me to say Dele Alli.
Go on, say it. As an England fan.
But I must admit, he is an outstanding player.
Yeah.
Dele Alli, he really top class, and you know, I think he is going to have an outstanding career. He really is, and you know, for England as well, he's been brilliant. So yeah, you got to go Dele Alli.
I'm actually going to go for Iwobi because I think Arsene Wenger's going to give him those games. That's such a huge part of it.
You know, I might change my mind.
Too
well.
late.
You can't change your mind.
Having games in the lower leagues is so integral to a player's development, but having those same games at a team like Arsenal only bodes well for him. So that's my answer. Let us know what you think. Who are the breakthrough players of this season and which ones do you think are going to go on to great things? If you enjoyed the video, give it a like and subscribe to the Ball Street channel.